Hoy, ¿cómo está acá? Hi, everybody. Just wanted to get caught up with and do a follow-up video from last week's catch up with Dad. Him and Ma have moved back to the Philippines after living with me for about 2 years. And then before that, if you didn't already know, they lived in the Philippines for about 12 years, 12 and a half years. The long and short of it was basically mom and dad kind of had some health, what I thought were health concerns, and I didn't want them to be over there alone. And with the language barrier and the time difference and all the other things that go along with it, I needed them to come back. I felt compelled to bring them back. So, I so they lived here with me, and my little family, and I finally got their health squared away, and then as a family decided, okay, time to go. I mean, yeah, that's the gist of it. And of course, there's um, uh, details that went along with it, but they are off in the Philippines. Dumaguete to be specific, and Dad's back to his adventures, exploring, finding abandoned airplanes and neighborhoods, and moms, you know, going and moseying down to her okai okai, which is basically thrift stores. And we're kind of back to our normal lives over here. I was getting Dad caught up on our or my kind of what was going on with me and in these past few months. I finally, well, I graduated with my master's in March. Received in that master's in clinical mental health counseling, and then I got my associate registration number for professional clinical counselor through the California Board of Behavioral Services in June. And so right now I'm about a third of the way of getting all my supervised hours. And in the state of California, we need 3,000 hours, supervised hours, before I can get fully licensed. Of course, along with that, there are these exams that I have to take. And so got a lot going on there. In addition to that, I've also decided I'm going to pursue my own business, and that business will basically be an overall well-being um, focus. Let me back up. So when I, as I'm going through my licensing and experience to get fully licensed, I'm going to be specializing or gearing my hours when I'm able to, and getting certified in um, for veterans in the military community. My son and I, obviously me, I'm just retired. Um, my son and I have been just struggling with getting appointments with the VA for our mental health, and it's just kind of been a struggle. So I really want to be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. So with that being said, I did mention becoming getting my certification through the NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine. Um, Finally getting, I guess, officially certified, valid through them, with all of my coaching and personal training experience. Along with that, I got a certification for a menopause coach. Um, and I'm also pursuing in the process of getting my nutrition specialist and corrective exercise specialist. All of those things combined have kind of propelled me to open up my own business and and be geared to helping, well, geared to achieving like an overall holistic well-being, to to include um, mental health, physical health, spiritual health, emotional health. And so my website, when I get it going, is going to be called Ginhawa Living. And the word Ginhawa is Tagalog for basically overall well-being. addressing all of those aspects that I just mentioned, to generate an overall feeling of balance and well-being. Rarely though are we ever completely balanced in any of those areas, but being aware and cognizant of where we're at. Personally, if I'm going to just be authentic and true to myself, I've been struggling with the phase in my life where I kind of 4 years ago or 5 years ago, I was propelled into surgical menopause. And with that, mentally and physically, I've just kind of been off. And it wasn't up until a few months ago that I started wondering what was going on, as far as like having brain fog, and my discipline just kind of going out the window. I'm already kind of absent minded, but I felt like I was more absent minded. um, and then I was like having like my weight distribution and fat distribution in all different places of my body, which, for the record, I'm not a I don't really care about my weight. I care about being strong and overall healthy, and just being able to have balance. And I was feeling like that was kind of off. Trouble sleeping. I normally get up at 04, and I have not been able to, and even though I get up that early, I, um, I'm normally up and at 'em and I can get going. But now, late recently, I haven't been. It's been just a struggle. So, realizing that now I'm starting to show the signs and symptoms of menopause, I figured I might as well just use my experience as a catapult into other people's lives, of putting it out there, and you're not alone. Um, and it also goes for men, so that you could be aware of changes in your female friends, friends, family, coworkers, and have a better understanding of what's going on. And I think if we can have a better understanding of other people, and what could possibly be going on with them. For women, it could be menopause. Um, for most of us, it could be, we're having um, we've encountered like a much more depressing day. Our anxiety's off the charts. Maybe our grief is just not getting any better, for maybe some kind of loss, whether it's a relationship, a friend, an animal. So incorporating all of those things into a overall um, plan of how do we maintain and address these things is kind of why I wanted to start my own business. And of course, I'm always open um, to suggestions and learning other people's lives. And I want to be a part of that solution, just like I want to be part of the solution for the mental health game, especially for the military and our veterans. I want to be part of the solution. So that's kind of a briefing of where I'm at and where I'm going. Um, and so, with that, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to stop by and spend like 8.5 minutes of your life with me. And so, with that, I will say, sige, alis na ako, which means okay. See you later. And until next time. Bye.